Okay, so here we are, kind of well into part two, actually, of the preamp replacement for the, what is it? It's a Hohner, right? Or it's a Hohner? I can't remember. It's a Hohner B Bass V. The active preamp in it was not working. I tried to repair it. I think this dual IC is the problem. It's a New Japan's IC. I don't know if they even make these anymore, but it made more sense for me to make something that worked a little better. Looked up some designs online and took basically what was the Baraka preamp project preamp, bass preamp. It was very similar. As you can see, it has a dual IC in there. I've set it up so that IC can be changed because there are so many choices you can use. And they all have different performance. Some are lower noise, some are higher noise and less current draw, the battery lasts longer. Anyway, I repurposed what I could out of this old preamp and put it on the board here. Most of it is new stuff, but one of the things that I repurposed or I'm using is the dual concentric pot. It is a 100K pot where this circuit actually is designed to use a 50K pot. Basically, in general, what that means, this Baxandall tone circuit, which will cut and boost. The cut side is a little more drastic. The boost is pretty much all there, but the range of this pot, as you turn it, the boost will come up quicker, so it's going to be a little more sensitive. And it's going to shift the center points of the frequencies a little differently, but it'll be fun. It'll be interesting. One thing I need to do on this yet is I need to add a dropping resistor from the 9-volt in for the LED, and I'm going to drop it quite a bit because it will show up bright enough even if it's getting close to being starved on voltage, because I want to minimize the current that's drawn from that LED on the bass, because it serves no purpose other than looking pretty, which is cool, but it will kill the battery life. So just looking quickly in the cavity, I am going to, one of the differences in that Baraka circuit, this amp is set up with that LED, so I need to had to modify that circuit, or the connections, I should say, and how it comes into the bass itself, so that it's still everything is switched on when the jack is put in. Because if you remember in the first video, there is a stereo plug here, and as a mono plug goes in, it puts the ring and sleeve in contact with each other and actually turns on the preamp. And then this switching system, which includes turning on the LED and turning it off, will actually allow, which is cool, allow the bass to use the pickups in direct passive mode. And when it is switched on and the light is on, then it switches over to the active preamp circuit. So, I mean, it's a good feature. I just, as you can tell in my voice, I don't like having the LED in there because it serves no purpose other than telling you that it's on. You'll know when it's on and when it's off, and also it just drains the battery. But I know that once I hook it up and do it, I'm going to say, that's pretty cool. I'm glad we did that. One of the things that I need to do, and I've actually already started, these lines, it's funny, I don't know if these are the original pickups in the bass or not. They sure look like it. They are EMGs, J Bass 5s of sorts. And the leads are so long. For two reasons I'm shortening them is it better having a short lead than a long lead, noise and other such things. And also it gives more room, because this is going to go in the back. I'm going to shrink wrap over this, and it's going to sit in here somewhere. It's going to be like that. One of the things that I plan to do is that when I shrink wrap this all together and make all the connections, I'm going to have a little window cut out so that the owner can switch the IC to another type, This is a 4558 right now, pretty common. It's kind of the middle of the road between low noise and low power consumption. You can put a TL072, an LM1458. There's some great chips you can try. They will all give you different performance, and why not have fun doing it? They're cheap. Okay, so I mean, that's it basically. So really, I'm just going to work on it, get this all tied in together. And by the way, I have tested this preamp on my oscilloscope, and it works great. So let's see. One last thing on this. The neck on this bass, when the strings are under tension, is horribly bowed. I am hoping that the truss rod is going to respond to some degree, because when the strings are out of tension, the neck is pretty straight, which tells me, you know, I'm going to almost have to back bow it a little bit prior to putting the strings in tension. We shall see. So that'll be another thing. Hopefully that all holds together. All right, there you go. All right. So we've got it's pretty much all together. Added the wiring for the tap for the LED. That's going to be the blue wire. I'm going to leave it the way it was wired before, so I'm just going to connect these wires. Don't want to upset this whole thing, but I did clean up all in here. There's a lot more room. The preamp itself will sit very nicely here. I put a protective little extra tape on the bottom. I put clear shrink wrap so you could see the IC, and also I'm not going to cut it out now, but you can cut open a little window and replace the IC with a different one, or if this one fails, and that kind of, if this ever fails, I should say, you can replace the IC. Just a dual op amp, pretty straightforward stuff. All right, so next is to put it in there and wire this stuff together and see what happens. The LED to work. Now remember, the whole thing has to turn on. You got to have this plugged in. And when it is, and where's that switch? Look, we've got a light. All right, we'll see if it actually works and how it sounds. The next thing, actually, what I want to do is check the neck on the bass, and then we'll do a sound check. Wow, cool. It's nice and bright, even though I've got 1K resistor dropping that voltage there. So hopefully that'll make it last longer. Nothing else. All right, there you go. All right, so Abe, this thing's working. Basically, I've got both pickups on right now. It's in passive mode. So these dials here, when I have them all the way down, actually, when you turn it on, cuts the sound or selects different tone, and you can tell when it's all the way up. Turn it off, you can see how much it boosts. And you change the tone, change the pickups, fix that scratchy pickup. And there you go, it all works. And look, the light goes on too. There it is.